All right, we're going to get started. Thanks everybody for joining us for our webinar today. It is the first annual the Best of New and Next Awards from Converge Consulting. So we want to make sure that we're really highlighting and showcasing some of the greatest things we've seen this year in higher education marketing. Hopefully some of you will be on the list. I know a couple of you might be there. My name is Becky Vardaman with Converge Consulting, and I'm delighted to have Lee Fitzgerald from HubSpot with me today.
Hi, everyone. This is Lee.
And we've spent a lot of time going through and looking at all kinds of different marketing this year, and really have picked out some of our favorites, and we'll show you why. We are recording this session, so if you see something really cool that you want to go back and dig into a little bit more, which I hope you do, that will all be available on our website following the webinar, and we'll shoot you an email when that's available. A little bit about Converge. We really like to focus on what's new and next in higher education. So for us, that's inbound marketing and all of its different aspects. It's analytics and it's SEO and it's great content, and it's really the things that we're giving awards out for today. We also are partners with HubSpot, and we really love them. We think that they really embody a lot of the things that we think are great. I'm going to let Lee talk a little bit more about HubSpot.
Thanks, Becky. So HubSpot is a marketing software platform. We're based out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, and we're actually a startup out of Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 2006. And to date, we now have about 13,000 customers and offices in Australia as well as the UK. I work specifically here on our education team, which is one of the only specific teams that we have here at HubSpot working with one particular industry. And we either work directly with schools and their marketing teams, or we partner with really awesome agencies like Converge who use HubSpot to deliver services for their clients.
Thanks. So let's get into it. The categories that we selected this year to give away awards for is big data and/or research, web analytics, digital advertising, search engine optimization, better known as SEO, content strategy, social media, and video storytelling. And let me tell you, we saw a lot of really great things coming in. Let's see. I think it's really important, though, to start this whole conversation and frame it around really what's new and next. We understand, you guys are living in this world. You see that really there's been a major shift, even in the past 5-10 years, that the audience is now in control. This is seen through the real success that comes in with things like Netflix. Anybody else excited about House of Cards getting their next launch date? I am. Blocked off on the calendar. Netflix has got millions and millions of subscribers now. Other things like Spotify and Pandora, where music services that you can get on demand whatever you want at that moment. It's really, really become the way that most of us want to engage with our media. So it makes sense that it's the way that most of us want to engage also with any marketing that's coming our way. We want to make sure that we are the ones in control, and we're really going to respect and love the companies and brands out there, including universities, that are letting us be in control. Really, that is more rolls right into the inbound marketing philosophy of wanting to attract people with amazing content, great social media, taking them from strangers, moving them through so that they come to our site and take those visitors. We want to convert them using calls to action, landing pages, forms, things on our website that are really proper and engaging, and make them students. And then, of course, once they are students, we want to make sure that they love us, love us enough to become promoters. So this is kind of the framework in which all of these awards are falling into. So inbound marketing, why is it so important? It's really about earning the attention and producing really valuable, customized content. It's about earning it instead of pushing it, right? Making yourself easy to find with search optimization. How many of you have gone out and solved half of the problems that you have by Googling it, right? You don't even probably realize you're doing it anymore through things like Siri and Cortana and things on your phone. We want to make sure that we're visible there. It's important to know your audience and having the right, getting the right data so that you can get the right message to the right person at the right time. Really delighting them so that they're out there promoting you. And of course, guiding them through that process, the attract, convert, and delight.
So HubSpot's done a little research here on how exactly important content is on your website, and we found that websites and brands that can create about 15 blog posts a month would average about 1,200 new leads per month, which obviously for schools means prospective students that we can start a conversation with until they're ready to apply and talk to admissions.
All right, so our first award, big data or research. Why it's important? A lot of you probably know this, that there's a wealth of information out there, most of it probably unutilized, right at your fingertips. Think about big companies like Amazon or Walmart. They've been doing this successfully for years. Really think about the retail world, like Barbara Coward, who works with us, recently gave me a great example. She went and looked up a Christmas wreath, and immediately Crate & Barrel sent her an email saying, hey, here's a bunch more wreaths that we have. So it's information that you really can target the right people with things that they're interested in. You can also get more data through things like surveys, online forms, interviews, etc. Even just having a campus focus group, counts as pulling in some of that qualitative data. And big data can be either structured or unstructured.
And testing landing pages is also a great way to increase conversion rates. So if you do A/B testing on landing pages like Marian University, they saw an increase of over 250% conversion rate on their landing pages.
That's a great use of some of that data. So the idea is you can use it in lots of different ways like that. So our winner of the Big Data or Research Award is American University's We Know Success microsite. The URL is right there if anybody wants to go to it. For the sake of everything being with the tools of technology we have with GoToWebinar, I'm not going to go out to these live sites. So it's all right there if you want to go see it. Whoops. So why did we like this one so much? If you go to their site, the very first thing you see on this microsite is they have this top bar in kind of the gray-brown color that lets you decide what kind of information you want to see and slice that information up. So they have these beautiful infographics explaining the real outcomes of their school, and you can slice it to exactly what type of program and major and school you want to look at. So below here you can see that they have this great infographic using all of the data that they know of outcomes from their school, saying that they have 88% of, I think that this is the master's at the time when I had this selected, of their graduates are working in grad school or both. That's a huge number. Additionally, they have some other things that will all change as well underneath. They're showing, the economic sectors of people who graduate from their programs, where they're at. And they have some of the actual classroom experiences, or rather experiences beyond the classroom that are preparing that their students typically do. So as a prospective student, we hear over and over again in interviews that they want to do internships, they want to study abroad, they want to know where they're going to get a job. American did a great job of answering those prospective student questions in a really beautiful graphic way, using all of that data and information that they have on their people. So congratulations to American. All right, our next category is web analytics, specifically in this case, Google Analytics. Why is it so important? Any of you guys that know me know that Google Analytics is kind of a passion of mine. So I think it's important for a lot of reasons, but why is it important to you? You can't improve something that's not being measured. That's kind of the 101 thing. You won't even know if you're losing weight if you don't step on the scale in the first place, right? You want to make sure that you're measuring those things. Really, it's become a lot less labor intensive in the last couple of years. The data is getting better, and it's quicker through tools like Google Tag Manager and Universal Analytics. This is the year of Universal Analytics. If you have not thought about switching, make sure that you are. Your online presence is really the first impression for many prospective students and donors. And you have to make sure that you're setting up some audience-based goals so that you have context around those basic metrics. Is a page view good or bad? How many page views is good? We hear this all the time. You can have all of the page views in the world, but if nobody's really requesting information, it doesn't mean much.
And our fact here is that we obviously know for certain that students and parents both think that college websites are the most influential resource for researching different programs and universities.
Absolutely. That highlights how important it is to make sure that your website is in tip-top shape. Well, so our winner for this category is Texas A&M. Actually, it's their alumni foundation. So what they've done is they're using Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager to get incredibly detailed information about how people are using their website so that they can make really good decisions for their marketing going forward. So this is their main website, and they wanted to know how people are interacting with things like this slider across the top. This actually is animated and moves if you're on their live site. They also have a handful of drop downs within their navigation. And of course, that almighty Give Now button that they want to make sure they're tracking. So what they did is they used Google Tag Manager. Google Tag Manager is a tool that lets you do a lot of event tagging and ad conversion tagging really simply through a web-based interface. All you need to do is put container code on your page one time, and then you can work on it all through here instead of bothering IT. So what they've done is they've set up tags to be able to track a bunch of things like you can see here, their header logo. They're tracking whenever a form has been submitted. All these different elements of their page, they're going to track as Google Analytics events. And what that ends up with is dashboards that give them a really clear idea of what's happened on their site. So you can see over the left that there are 4,558 form submits, and on the right column you get the breakdown of what forms people are submitting. And additionally, you would get outbound links, you would get header navigation, et cetera, et cetera. So now they have all this information. They're at the point where they really are getting to dig in and make better decisions based on what people from different channels are doing on their site. Our next category is digital advertising. Why is this so important? Most of you have thought about this before, I'm sure. Billboards, television, radio, you don't really get to segment. I mean, they call it the mass media for a reason. So what we get with digital advertising is we can find a perfect fit for our message. We can make sure that the right people are seeing the right thing, especially with things like remarketing, retargeted, audience upload, and some other tools. We can get really fine segmentation. And of course, by segmenting our audience and our message and making sure that it's the right person that we're really selling to or engaging with, either way, we're going to save money and we're going to increase our ROI.
So about on average, colleges and universities' budgets, 27% are allocated nowadays to online advertising or digital advertising.
And this is a number that we expect to continue to grow. So our winner for this one is doing something really new and next. It's Williams Baptist College in Arkansas, and they are doing Facebook custom audience advertising. So let me explain a little bit about why this is so cool. What they've done is basically they've pulled a list of everybody from their institution who has started a degree but that has not completed their degree. So this is their non-graduate list. And you can see it's not a huge number, 400 or so people, but it's people that they know are really, really ripe leads that maybe just need a little bit of a push to get them back in the door and finish that degree. So what we've done is they've uploaded this into Facebook, and it basically set up so that ads are only going to those people within Facebook and showing up on people who have started their degree with them and haven't finished. And here's an example of one of those ads. You can imagine if you hadn't finished your degree, but you had started and you see this pop up right in your news feed, how that might really impact with you, and especially realizing, hey, look, I can do this online and get it done. Their completion programs. Just in the first week, they had 3 conversions. And since they're only spending money on people who are really, really high target prospects, they aren't spending a ton of money on this either, which is great. Nice low cost per lead. So our next category is search engine optimization. Why is this so important? You know this, you know the answer. If you are constantly Googling things, right? You're out there. Your prospects are out there. Search engines move a significant amount of the traffic online. Something that you need to know, SEO is a very fluid landscape. It's frequently changing, but it's always focused on the searcher, not on us trying to get higher in the rankings. It's always focused on what that user needs. So that's what we need to do too, is we need to focus on what the user is looking for, quality content. So over and over again, if you know who your prospect is and answer their questions, you're going to win.
So not only is SEO more or less expensive, obviously, than paid search, but we also see that it has a faster close rate than outbound or paid search leads that you get. So organic leads have about a 14 or 15% close rate, while outbound leads or paid leads would have a little less than a 2% close rate.
All right, our winner here for SEO project was, this one is actually a little bit hard for us to judge because SEO is something that's usually kind of behind the scenes, but this one's pretty special. We're going to give it to Creighton Blue Jays. They're doing a full site redesign of their entire website. They're partway through it, so if you go out to their website right now, you can see this happening right now. But they've done it completely powered by research and SEO. So what I mean by that, they've launched their new homepage, and they've done a lot of keyword research around the way that people talk about things. So they're looking at whether people call themselves future student, whether they call themselves, whether they're looking for that student experience, etc. So they have all of these basic kind of on-page things that they've done research on and built their new site around them. But what they're doing that's really special is this thing that we call thematic research. My example to explain this quickly is if I go to Google and I search for, I'm trying to figure out that movie, you know, that movie with the tiger and the kid on the boat. What was the name of that movie? And if I search for those things in that sentence, in that order in Google, it's going to bring up the movie Life of Pi, which traditional keyword research, that doesn't make sense, right? Because it used to be that you had to have those specific keywords on your page, otherwise it wouldn't show up. So what's happening here? It's Google being smart enough to understand that when movie, tiger, boat are together in sentences and paragraphs, we usually mean Life of Pi. That's what's getting clicked on. So we can translate that over into our own world and say that we know that things like career coach and job placement and career coaching, those types of words, when they're related together, the more of those together you can get on a website, the higher you're going to rank for any of those things thematically. So they've done a ton of thematic research to go behind all of their new pages of their new website. And then they've used this content template here that you can see, a blank one, to really implement that across their entire new website. So I know many of you have been through a web redesign. I think that it's really phenomenal that these guys have focused on the front end, putting the SEO right into the redesign. And that's how they're our winners. All right, content strategy. This one we had tons of great examples of, and our winner here was really, really good. So obviously, content I mentioned in the previous example is critical for search engine optimization. Content gives you a chance to show and tell your story and really build an emotional connection. And it lets you establish thought leadership and expertise as well. A lot of the great companies out there that I love to follow, whether it's in retail or digital marketing or whatnot, I read their blog all the time, and their content has a big impact on me.
So like we mentioned before on the SEO slide, content will help you definitely rank higher in organic results, but it's also going to help you on that next phase of the inbound marketing methodology, which is the conversion. So websites that have a great content strategy are going to have about a 6 times higher conversion rate on their visitors to their site than websites that don't have a content strategy. It also, like I mentioned before, is going to help you save on your overall cost per lead. So using inbound tactics and really great content strategy will help you save on average about 13% on your overall cost per lead.
All right, our winner here is the Sauder School of Business from the University of British Columbia. And they have an amazing microsite, The Spirit of Discovery. The URL is there for you to take a look. This is linked off of their main site. And what it really does is they've named this thing all around what they really have as their ethos of their program, is exploring and changing the shape of business. I think that, first of all, it's a beautiful, excellent laid out site with simple navigation. If you scroll this, it's really good looking. But what's really cool about it is some of the way that they've expressed things through the content. So here's an example under the Global Perspectives tab. This whole tab, if you scroll up and down, shows brilliant, beautiful pictures of things all over the world and why it's so important to have that cultural background. But I love this slide, especially this snippet of talking about culture and cultural tendencies. And instead of just saying, in Switzerland, they're really independent, they made this into kind of a graphic element with different animals and grouping these different types of cultures together from a business perspective. They also have some really phenomenal videos. They have a Watch the Stories page, which over and over again, in fact, we have a video winner down the line. Video is so important in really getting your prospective student in seeing those people's faces in real life and really being able to imagine and see themselves there. So the videos here are worth watching as well. They're great. All right, so let's talk about social media. Why is social media so important? I think most of you know that all of your prospects are out on social media, right? You also want to make sure you're sharing your content there. So you've got all this great content. You want to make sure people see it. Social media is a great place to get that out there. In fact, I don't even know if anybody uses an RSS feed reader anymore. My favorite, iGoogle, got retired a couple years ago. But where we're getting our news and where we're getting our content is social media. I think that I found out about all the big news stories that have happened this year through a Facebook or Twitter, not through an RSS feed anymore. So that's where people's attention is. Obviously, we want to engage our prospects. People who are engaged with you and interacting with you on social networks are more likely to become leads for you. You can meet new prospects by using hashtags. People who are just following a certain hashtag out there might never have heard of you. But when they see that you've tweeted on that hashtag or used Instagram or Facebook around the hashtag, you might meet some new people. And then the last piece here is, of course, anybody who's worked in social media knows this. You've got to have some kind of preparedness plan. You've got to be able to handle flare-ups quickly and before they become a really big problem. Sometimes just a quick response to someone who's had a problem with your admissions process or financial aid or something, if you quickly can talk to them specifically on social media, a lot of times that'll keep them from flaring you out online. So it's important to have that visibility.
So our fact here is that interesting content is one of the top 3 reasons people follow your brand on social media. So I know for me, before I follow someone on Twitter, I'm checking their timeline to see what type of messages I should expect if I'm following them back. Hootsuite is a great free tool for schools to start really gearing up their online and their social strategy.
Yeah, we love Hootsuite. That's what we use. HubSpot has some social tools, doesn't it?
Yep. The biggest difference between our social tool and Hootsuite is that it's connected in with your contacts database. So you can start to add a little bit of context to who exactly is meeting a stream that you're monitoring, or if they're engaging with you, getting a little bit more understanding of, is this person a prospective student? Are they a stranger? Are they an alumni, current student? Just a little bit more background on someone.
Yeah, I know that I'm definitely on the emails when we get some monitoring emails from HubSpot too. So cool, very good tools. All right, so the winner of New and Next on this one is the University of Michigan. And the reason that I really like this one is because they're really owning Snapchat. I've had a lot of conversations with clients and just people in the industry about what do we do with Snapchat, right? We all know that our demographic is on this tool, but it's a little bit more private. It's starting to become a little bit more sharing because of the ability to create stories. But really, not a lot of schools are in this space yet. So University of Michigan was one of the first. So back in February of this year, they decided to create their Snapchat account because they found out that 77% of college students are using Snapchat daily. So, I mean, duh, right? It's kind of a no-brainer that we want to be where our prospective students are and where our current students are, especially in the undergraduate world. So these guys, they're actually featured in this Time article. So they went ahead and they created their Snapchat, and they're sending out things. They weren't scared of it, I guess. So they created it. They're letting some of their students engage with it and send out snaps. This is just an example of some of the things that they're sending. Happy last day of class, the end is near, fun, informal. They're promoting the fact that they have study breaks with puppies on campus for people during finals week and actually giving out real information. I mean, this isn't just screwing around. They're saying, come until 5 p.m. You can come play with these puppies. I think there was one more snap in here that said where that I couldn't fit. So I think it's really, really neat that these guys are not scared of the new social media. They're willing to take some chances and that they seem to be doing really well with it with a good follower base from their students. All right, video storytelling. This is our last award winner today. Video, I mentioned already previously, it really has the power to be impactful. It humanizes your message. We know that emotions are contagious. That's science, right? We know that if you smile at a baby, the baby will smile back at you. And that just seeing people's faces helps to convey that emotion. So think about what kind of emotions you want to convey to your prospective students, prospective donors, and try to get those people and those emotions on your camera. It also can explain complicated messages in a really simple way. Think about kind of that animated infographic. There's some power to visually hearing or seeing something and then also hearing it that can make something complicated a lot easier to understand. We also know that when you hear somebody actually speaking some words, it's a lot more meaningful and we take it into a deeper part of our brain. And of course, movement grabs attention. So all of these things combined really explain why video can be so impactful from a recruitment standpoint.
Video is also a great way to communicate a lot of information. So one video is worth about 1.8 million words, and YouTube is actually the second largest search engine in the world, which was really shocking the first time that I heard that, with over more than 3 billion searches per month.
I think that that's even, I mean, see how all these things tie together under the inbound marketing umbrella? Your video is also a critical component for SEO. All right, so our winner here is Mount Mercy University, the Mount Mercy Fund video. And you can see that there on their website at /annual-gifts. I'm not going to play this full video, but I am going to show you a couple of slides and talk about what the content is. So this video is about, they have the fund, the Mount Mercy Fund. Many of you are probably familiar with a similar type of fund that is basically, as this illustration shows, bridging the gap between tuition and their endowment. So it's for things, and the video goes on to explain that it's for things like keeping the lights on and paying professors and toilet paper, things as silly as that throughout the university. I think that this is really important because it's a complicated idea, especially from a fundraising standpoint. People don't always understand where their dollars are going. And this video does a fantastic job of, in a cute way that's animated and engaging and hip and modern, of explaining exactly where your money is going to go, why it's so important, and also highlighting why the university it's going to alumni. So it's showing off some of the great things about the university and bringing that sense of pride to the prospective donors. So that one's fun. I definitely recommend you go out and watch that full video on their website. And with that, a big congratulations to our 2014 winners. The Sauder School of Business from the University of British Columbia, Texas A&M, Mount Mercy, Williams Baptist College, Creighton University, American University, and the University of Michigan. Like I said, this will be recorded and posted on our website. So if you want any further details on any of these examples, go check that out. Or if you have a specific question, by all means, we'll hang out for a couple of minutes or you can email me later. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us.